come the boss lady, the Kelly Holland Show. Watch out, let's go. Here come the boss lady, the Kelly Holland Show. Let's drop it. Here come the boss lady, the Kelly Holland Show. Come on. She gonna get it right. Research all about your life. Her info's always tight. Talking just to get inside. Gospel talking, Bible walking, wanna help you see. Faith is calling and she's walking with the victory. The king is on her side and she never quits. Put you on the show and you reminisce. Creative to the point where she's making hits. Business savvy is a Kelly. Are you kidding this? The Kelly Holland Show. I'm liking this. The Kelly Holland Show. Come on, y'all.
Hello, and welcome to the Kelly Holland Show. I'm so happy that you tuned in. Today, we have such a treat. One of my buddies is here, and we don't know how to act right, but we're going to give you a quality show. Listeners and viewers, please help me welcome Dr. Eric Holmes. Hey, sir.
How are you, Kelly? It's always a pleasure, always an honor, you know, to share with you. I'm super excited, humble, and I'm so excited for your new journey and what you're doing. So, and you look amazing.
Thank you.
So I'm just looking forward for this time of sharing. Thank you for the honor, the privilege, and it's always such a joy to be in your company.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the warm welcome. Please let our viewers know, who are you? Dr. Eric Holmes, who are you? What it is that you do?
You know, this takes me back to the taping we did for Who I Am, the docuseries, where I sat to my big brother Batman, you know, and we went through, you know, this interview process. I am originally from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, born and raised, come from a family of 8. Went to school, went to college, worked there, and then
pause. A family of who?
8.
Okay, so it was 10 people in that house.
Well, I was next to the youngest. I was number 7, and so, but a time that, you know, some of them had moved out. But growing up, it was. I had 5 brothers and 2 sisters.
Wow. Wow, big family. Okay, I'm sorry to cut in. I was just amazed. Like, how many?
Yeah. And so, you know, came from, you know, a family of 8, close family, born and raised in PA, moved to Maryland almost 30 years ago and began a career at Johns Hopkins, you know, joined the phenomenal church here, Bethel Temple Church, and just began a journey, you know, as an author, as an entrepreneur, but the in-between things that we experience in, you know, moving to a whole nother state, moving to look for a new career. And so always been one of those go-getters, working hard, going to school, you know, trying to be the best that I can be. And so people see us now, but there was a process, there was preparation, there was process of who we are, yet of who we are becoming. And so, you know, I just tell most people, I'm just an humble servant who said yes, had to go through process, preparation, to where I am, yet to where I'm going.
Amen to that, and such humble beginnings. And I'm so glad that you put God first, as well as your trust in him. And then you've reached so many mountaintops. Like, congratulations to you, brother. Please let us know, you know, how is it being a Black person that is professional, successful, and seeing the, you know, the racial distress going on throughout our communities and others? What type of initiatives has that motivated you to maybe come up with, or any ideas or groups that you may have already started in?
One of the things is we are royalty. You got to know who you are, got to know whose you are. One, always keeping God first, but knowing that the family structure and culture that we come from has always been strong, been strength to us, no matter what we had to deal with. They
Agreed.
taught us to survive. They taught us to endure. And so the thing about it is now when we see so many different things, even at my workplace, I'm on a diversity committee.
Mhm.
And when before COVID, I was in the community, a lot of community events at the library, doing a lot of teachings and workshops and book signings and all of that. So giving back in the community and helping even the younger generation, you know, giving them wisdom, sharing the knowledge of what we experience so they don't have to, but learn from it. And so,
Exactly.
you know, allowing them to know we are powerful, you know, we are authentic, you know, we are strong, you know, and making sure they remember who they are so we can continue to be effective and make an impact in our community, in our culture, you
I
know.
I agree. And it's very difficult for these these young brown boys and girls to learn their identity because so much of their history has been whitewashed. And we've been lied to and we've been told that this is the way when this was never the way. But the research is there for us to go back and to find or to identify our roots, right? But at the same time, are the resources there to help us to identify our roots? And so that loss of identity comes in, and then they latch on to whatever's on the media, right? That he who controls the media controls the masses, and so media is where it's become, I would say, the brainwashing tunnel, where so many people kind of walk into because they think it's a norm. How do you combat that within your community? How do you help people know who they are?
One, you really have to, one, give structure, knowledge, clarity.
Mhm.
You have to allow them to see things from a different perspective, but you got to give them the culture. You got to give them history. You got to be able to sit down and be transparent and
Mhm.
help them and have a good listening ear, you know, so you can hear them, hear their heart, see where they are, yet so you'll know how to direct them of where to go.
Yeah.
But give them facts, give them truth, you know, give them experiences that you had to experience. And so give them all of this so they'll know, you know, it's more to it than doing XYZ. It's more to it than on the corner. It's more to it. Yes, we've done this. And a lot of times because there is no transparency, because there is no giving the truth and facts, or even as, you know, that saying we said what stays in, you know, what's in the home stays in the home and all that. No, you got to be transparent. You got to give people,
Absolutely.
because what you do is hinder. What you do is cause things for people not to really see what things really are. And so when you condition their minds and their
Come on.
thinking one way,
Uh-huh.
now they don't know the good way. They don't know another way. And so we cannot use those. What that don't work no more. We got to
That
be
gotta
transparent.
receive.
We got to give
Exactly.
them truth.
You are absolutely right. I couldn't agree more. And so that's why we do projects under my life coaching. We do projects for men and women, definitely the at-risk youth and adults. And we try to teach financial literacy, workforce development, and also some life coaching. You know, that's the time that people are able to pour in and let us know how they even got to this point and what we can do to change it, what norms are very much not norms at all, but they're just like you said, that these adopted behaviors. Dr. Holmes, you've mentioned that your workplace, the infamous Johns Hopkins Hospital, has started a diversity committee. So many Fortune 500 companies and beyond have began to introduce diversity teams within the last 5 years or so. Do you think this is the corporate way of acknowledging or you know, is it a joke?
Well, it isn't, because we actually have an entire department. We have a phenomenal VP, Dr. Golden, who heads up the diversity department. So, and even within different areas, we have diversity, you know, committees, teams. But you have to recognize it, one, because it's real. it's here and it's not going, whatever the diversity is, whether we're dealing with social injustice, whether we're dealing, last month they celebrated Pride and so many different diversities, that you have to bring this to the forefront. You have to talk about it. You just can't sweep stuff under the rug, because it's being brought to the forefront. It's being brought in the news. It's being brought, on social media, in articles. And so now what we do, we've got to play our part. We got to do our part so we can help
those. Exactly. Audience, I love speaking to other community leaders, servant leaders, because you always get to understand their passion and why they do what they do for the community. You also get to learn who they are. And usually it's based off of our personal journeys, as well as we introduce so much passion into helping others. So Dr. Holmes, let me ask you, being the next to the youngest child in your family, such a large family, what type of off-track beginnings did you have, and how were you able to veer into Dr. Holmes?
One of the things is, one, being next to the youngest, I was spoiled. So a lot that my brothers and them and my sisters and them didn't get away with, I did. And so being spoiled, and then but it also seems that you have a sense of entitlement, because I was giving a lot, but however, still taught the principles of working hard, going to school. And even though with some of the things, like I used to, most people, they laugh about it when I tell them, but my class, the people that I graduated with, which now we just celebrated 35 years for the Harrisburg High class of 86, I threw the baddest like skip day parties. I threw like the baddest parties, like period, in PA. And like when I go back, we talk about it, but we respected one another, even where I am right now in my journey. And when they see me, is because I still respect them, no matter where people are in life. We all got different paths, but we can talk about and laugh about, when we used to love to gamble, in school and play cards, or, when I threw the senior skip days and, all of that, and having, these amazing parties. Like I threw the bit from the house parties, the basement parties. And so when we talk about it now and we laugh about it, but one thing I will say is that if they needed somebody now to see where I am in my journey and where I am in life, if they needed prayer, if they needed to call on me, they know there's no judgment zone.
Okay.
My one buddy who will fight for me, like he's a sergeant, he was in the military, but he's a sergeant. Here's the thing. He'll say, yo, Dr. E, I need your prayer. I need your advice. You already know I got my E and J. But here's the thing. But for somebody to call you, respect you enough to know, to already let you know, but will call you when they're in trouble, or call you when they need advice, or call you, even though we grew up together. They knew I threw the party. They knew it. But where I am now, but I respect them. And so we don't judge one another, because everybody's process is different. And everybody's journey is different.
Absolutely. Everybody's journey is different. And I like to back that up with a math equation. So how many ways can we get to 10? We can do 1 + 9, 8 + 2, 5 × 2, 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 till we get to 10. It's so many different routes, and that's why I say it that way. But the goal is to make it to 10. Whether you had an open door and somebody made it available to you, well, you got there a little faster. Or whether you had to climb and stumble and fall and get back up like I did, then you took a longer path. But nevertheless, we all made it to 10. And so it's important that everybody think about their goals in that way. It's like my timeline is not your timeline, nor does it have to be. What the focus is getting to the goal. Getting to the goal. Dr. Holmes, you started off writing books. What was your very first book called, and what have you learned from then to now?
My very first book, The Power of the Seed, which is phenomenal and amazing, which is truly my heart and passion. From there to now, it was the process and the journey. It was to help me understand, the whole thing of seeding, sowing, planting, even in our lives, when something's planted, when something's watered, when something's nurtured. And in this whole process of getting to the goal, which is the harvest, getting to the goal, which is the finish line, and understanding that there's roots that expand and grow. And the whole analogy and revelation from the natural aspect to the spiritual aspect, from the farmer to the believer, but the in-between process is the valuable part, and how you have to deal with that in order to get to the end process.
Mhm. Amen. So now we're down to your newest book. Is it out already, or are you rolling
Yes,
out? Okay,
it
okay,
is
okay. So I
out.
can speak about it in time. Okay, so there we go, y'all. Go ahead and hold it up for our viewers. It is titled "My Next Season is Due Season" by Dr. Eric Holmes. Such a talented man, I may say. But what was your inspiration behind this book, and why was it important for you to share?
It's amazing because when I did the power of the seed, not knowing that God gave me my next season is due season, but it wasn't until 5 years later that He gave me that it was processed and the revelation of it, but He tied it in when He gave me that. But it helps you even a spin off from that as it shifts into the process, the preparation of getting from one season to the next, and that we cannot skip seasons, that we must endure the season that we're in order to get to the next season. But there again, there's something in the middle of the process I must do, and how we handle the middle process is going to determine the outcome. So there's process and preparation and order. But here's the thing, you must endure one season to get to the next, even though
Amen.
it seems like we're in summer, but yet we just came through spring. I can't jump the fall without going through summer.
I love it. Come on with it, Doctor. Doctor, Pastor, Reverend. We I love it. I love it. I love it. We're nearing the end of the show. I knew this was going to happen. I knew we would get into it. It just feel like regular and old friends. And then boom, we ran out of time. We definitely are going to need a part two just to make this work. I'm requesting it right now from my producers, because there's so much more that Dr. Holmes can share, and there's so much more that he can give out, and there's so much more that you can buy from him as well. Dr. Holmes, please let our viewers know where they can find your newest project, and any other projects that you have out, and any dates that they should be aware of. This is your time to plug away.
Well, thank you once again, Kelly. I'm so amazed, so honored. Thank you, Batman and Positive Power, where you feel the power. This amazing show and your new journey. On Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, you can find those, or message me, social media, and reach out to me. But or in the libraries, you can find them in the libraries. And so I'm super excited about that because I just got notification. Not only that, it's on the shelf too with
Amen.
Jakes and Tony Evans. And so here's the thing: is that I have Soulful Prayer Volume 1, Volume 1, Volume 2, Soulful Affirmations, which we just released, that I'm a co-author, and in a few weeks will be the release of another book I co-authored, Leaders Embracing New Direction, which is a diversity of leaders and authors across the country. So when we talk about diversity, this entire project is full of diversity.
Amen. Amen to that. Please share your social media platforms. You went through it really quick, but I don't think you let the listeners know which social media tag to address to get to you.
Uh, Facebook, Eric Holmes; Twitter, Dr. E; Instagram, Dr._E_Holmes_, or LinkedIn, Eric Holmes. You can reach me on all of those, or if you just happen to go on Amazon, pull up my books, my whole bio, my email, and all that information is in there. Or if you happen to go in the library, you can pull one of my books from the library and reach me.
We need to get you a website. Just one home place with all your links. We need to get you a website because you have too much to share. And I know you're keeping it all up in your head. And so let's let this technology work for us. We need to get okay, viewers, we need to sponsor Dr. Holmes, Dr. Eric Holmes, a website. So from my mouth to God's ears, make it so that he can do this and it be sponsored and protected. Amen. But thank you again for joining us. It's been a pleasure to have had you here, Dr. Holmes. I'm so sorry we have to end right now, but I hope you can come back again.
I will be honored, humbled, whatever date you want me come back, for you, Kelly, I
Mhm.
will. And I appreciate you. I'm super excited what you're doing, your new journey, your new
Thank
chapter.
you.
It's going to be successful. And I'm telling you, they're going to be trying to get on your show.
I know that's right. Yes, Jesus. Let's make this work. Thank you, viewers, for tuning in. It has been a pleasure to be with Dr. Eric Holmes today. Hopefully, we will be able to record some new stuff for you in the near future. Thank you, Batman, our producer. You've heard his name a lot. He is the glue behind all of this. And thank you, viewers, for tuning in. And never forget to tap back into your unspeakable joy. Have a great day,